Welcome to the Michael ALPOUGH Life, Love, and Laughter Show number 41. This is my third show today, and I want to welcome you here. I wanted to do a evening presentation. I'm trying to get you in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evenings so that you'll know I'm here. And there's things that I was grown to define and grown to pass on. And sometimes we all are called to do something that maybe we didn't think we were called to do, but this is one of them times where I'm here to define from my mind's perspective and in the experience of what my life has entailed. This is episode 41, and why are we really here at this time in history? Why are you here? Why am I here? Why this time? Why now? What is now? And so I believe this is, and possibly the greatest time, and yet the hardest time. I believe we are heading into a time that will define us now and, well, forever is a long time, but certainly a long time. So as you can see, we're being shrank and so boxed in. Okay. You know what has been happening here in the last year and a half, really. You have to go back even now, back in November of 2019, when it was revealed that something was coming. Something was coming. I've gone back and look. And yes, if you go back and look, the numbers all tell you it was definitely coming. One of the things, you see, for me, my spiritual journey is not like anyone I know. Some of you know me, you've known me for a while, but no one knows me, just like no one knows anybody. See, I'm not claiming I know you. I'm certainly going to say you know me. Now, you know parts of me. Some of you grew up with me. You've seen an evolution of me. You know there's a certain part of me that has always been there. And you know what those characteristics are. But really what, for myself, as you know, I didn't get married till I was 58. And even when I met my beautiful bride, I warned her that I may not be that person that she's looking for because I'm on a spiritual journey. And that is all the spiritual experience, all the knowledge, everything that I can possibly gather, because I want to know who I am, where I'm going, and I want to have some say in it. And so that's not for everybody. And fortunately, she said, well, I'm on one too. I said, well, cool, but this one's like no other. So, you know, with that said, everyone's wondering, where have I come from? Mike, we know what you used to be. Mike, we did this and that. Okay. So, you know, I've had many stops on my way in my studies of my spiritual journey. And I do mean spirit. Okay. My spiritual journey. You know, I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy. I was altar boy of the week. My father and my mother brought us into that. And so we'll just say until I was 18 years old, you know, I graduated from Catholic high school, Bishop Hogan, go Rams. And so, then, well, you start going your own way. And then, just kind of a neutral for a few years. And then I became a born again Christian in 1980 of April. Golly, wow, that was this month. I don't know, 41 years ago. I don't know, something like that. So, and I fully participated in that for a good 20 years. And then my studies moved me on to really in a neutral place. I started studying ancient history, numbers, astrology, human design. I began to study the cell. That's how I became a PMF. Studying what the cell is, electrical, just brain, how the brain worked. Always looking my way. Ufology. I became a ufologist. I understood. I really studied all the Egyptian hieroglyphics. This is just to name a few of the things. Destiny cards. Just getting every bit of experience. Okay, and so I realized, why am I here at this time? I'm here at this time to experience everything, to understand everything as an independent spirit who's walking on this planet. Now, I already know that there were the victories that came and also the agony of defeat, of losing lots of people on the way who I loved and cared about. But again, at the same time, it was my time that I had to go and have my own experience. And no matter what it is, the end result is that experience creates wisdom. Wisdom is not learned without experience. From experience comes wisdom. And just like as I was speaking earlier about fear, and that was one of the things that I really looked at and took lots of study about that word, just that word. Okay. And so this is why I had that talk earlier about it. It is my experience, and I do pass it on. And it has changed my life. And this is why I'm here. Okay. So now, I'm sitting here looking back, and I wanted to, how do I explain to you what I just explained to you, what my experience in a spiritual chronological thing here, because as you know, I've said I'm a spiritual warrior. See, I know both sides. I understand it. That's where I had to do both and take on both and understand and to release the fear of it all. And I was not defined by anything, not about my occupation, not about my looks, my race, my politics, my environment. I was defined by my actions. So no matter what anyone understands about me, if you understand that my actions behind me, then you'll understand me. Because no matter where you decide your spiritual trip goes to, it is still about your actions. And that is what defines who you are. Okay. So now I have done so many things, so many different things in my life that I can't do it in one program. So on all the actual things, I've been taking an actual look I know why I became. I've experienced so many things in order to feel everything, to feel people's pain, the animal pain, the earth's pain. I feel it. It's interesting. So this is what I did just up until I was 20 years old. So here's every job I ever did just 20 now. All right. So my first job was mowing lawns. Second job, I got a car wash job. Blake, thanks. Then I was a janitor. I cleaned up my grade school. Okay. And I did that. I did that every day after I finished school and practice. And then I go to work, and then I go do my homework. Okay. Or a date. And then I go home and do my homework. Okay. And by the way, I was like the first one in my school who ever collected unemployment because I got laid off in my senior year. I got $40 a week. Then when I got out of high school, I started working at Sears. I started loading trucks. All right. Didn't want to do that because I'm loading trucks and I want to be big time. So my buddy Jerry and we decided to sell rainbow vacuum cleaners. And we sold a bunch of them. Rainbow vacuum cleaners. They had the water filter. That lasted about 6 months. Then I went and I sold shoes. Then I sold, after that, I sold clothes. Then I put on parties. I put on 6 big, huge parties. One time, 950 people came. Okay. Then I sold milk. All right. I sold milk for Zara door to door. And then after that, I moved to California and I started delivering car parts for Mazda. And with that job, which I didn't know one thing about car parts. And so, but what they did was, they didn't have GPS back then, guys. They had what's called the Thomas Guide. It was just one map in a book. And so that was how I was able to find my way around Orange County and learn my way, traveling around. Then I became a mental health tech at St. John's Hospital. And that was before I was 21 years old. So after I was in there, that's where I'm going to leave off. But again, did that define me? Yes, that defines me. Because through all that, the experience of then becoming a mental health tech in the big time hospital, getting on staff there, by the way, and I was there for 5 years, and that catapulted me in all kinds of other stuff, which I'm not going to go into. But yes, that does define me because of the experience of what had happened. So for my whole thing is about experience to create wisdom. So now what are you doing here? Why are you here? This is the greatest time of our lives. So my suggestion is to write it down. Because the definition that you create is the one that you want to stick with. We're being defined, you all. We're being defined. We're being refined. It's for us to take the time, look at mine insides. There's nothing that you don't want to hide. You want to be honest with yourself. Why am I here? So that you'll know where you want to go when you're being distracted by everything that's going on around us. We got the red pills and the blue pills. And where we want to be is in a neutral place so that we can figure out both sides. And this, if there's anything that I've spent my time doing is understanding all the sides. That's what makes me the person that can make these opinions about things, is because I have spent time studying all sides. And my conclusion is define yourself, know why you're here, know what you're doing, and go and still go for that. Define yourself. Now, there is being a force here to redefine us, and it could be for the better. Okay, so you want to look at it as the better also, because there's no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, the robots are coming. They're here. You mark my word here. In 2 years, you won't know this place. There's going to be so many robots here that are taking the jobs for all Americans because of the pandemic, which I said is another word for fear. And there could be another, well, I definitely see there being another one. So be prepared no matter what. I just got a really good suggestion from my sister the other day about growing, how simple it is to be able to grow your own food, especially your seasonings. You know, you can grow your plants. So these are things I'll be coming up and sharing with you on these ideas. Now, I want to give a special friend of mine, Jason, a happy birthday. Jason's a special person. I called him today, and I just want you to know, I want to share a little bit of our conversation, which tells me what it's an example of being present and understanding about what your goal is and why you're here. And so I asked Jason, which I always do with people when I call them on their birthday, and I say, "Hey, happy birthday. How old are you?" You know, you got to be, I'll reverse the years or whatever. And so in particular, so tell me about your birthday, man, and what you thinking about. He said, "Well, I was thinking about my past year, and I was thinking about all the people who I'd helped. I have changed their lives." And he mentioned a few who he dramatically had, and also he'd helped me. And so it was such a great testament for him to say what he did for other people as opposed to what he did. And he's done a number of things himself. And so, it was just really, and Jason has gone through a lot of experience. I've known Jason for years. We both have, we're on a similar journey. But I want to give him a big shout out on his happy birthday, and hope you have a great night. I'm talking to you now because I'll be back tomorrow. This is my 41st show. I'm just really jazzed up here, if that's a word, or I'm really called here, which I think it's more about that. So, when your mind is troubled, fill it with love, fill it with love. Yo, fill it with love, baby. Fill it with love. I'll be back in the morning. See if I can do 3 more shows tomorrow. Have a great night, and I love you.